Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol.
હા લઈ જાઓ એક એક્શન બોલું પેલા કરું જ પછી લઈ જાઓ જય. Now is the time for Bhagavad Gita class. Everybody please face on this side here where the speaker is. Please face where the speaker is. Everybody please face over where the speaker is on this side here towards the speaker. Please, thank you. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jai Radha Madhava
Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari.
Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana.
Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana.
Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana.
Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana.
Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana.
Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana.
Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana.
Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. यमुना
तीरवनचारी
यमुना तीरवनचारी
यमुना तीरवनचारी
यमुना तीरवनचारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
शिव माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन
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 यमुना तीरवनचारी
यमुना तीरवनचारी
यमुना तीरवनचारी
यमुना तीरवनचारी
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम राम
हरे
हरे।
जय श्री राधा गोकुलानंद की जय, सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की जय, श्री गौर निताय की जय, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice.
Hare Krishna, everyone. So thank you all for your kind patience and coming here, because I'm sure you feel the benefits of association of, who's there on the altar? What's his name? Yes, but Krishna has name. Krishna is the Lord, but every temple, it's like I am also a woman, but there's so many other women, right? So we have a name. My name is Vrinda Vilasini Devidasi, kind courtesy of my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj ki Jai. So similarly, our beautiful deities over there are of course of Lord Krishna and Radharani, Shri Ram, Lakshman, Hanuman, Sita Devi. But what is Krishna's name here? Huh? No. Gopal? No, come on. You guys have been coming here for so long. Yes. What's your name, Prabhu? Soha. So yes, Radha Gokula Nanda ki. So these deities are, of course, Lord Krishna's, they're in front of us, but they have a name. Just like we all have a name, Krishna can have a name, right? It's personal, isn't it? Would you say, what's your name? Nick. Nick, if I called you a man, would you be happy? Hey, man, come here. No. It's nicer, isn't it, if I say, Nick, would you mind coming here? Right? That's it. So similarly, because we think Krishna, and we are all part and parcel of Krishna, so we come here so that we can have association of Krishna. Because who are the parents here? Yes? Do you tell your children, please don't fall in wrong company, keep a good association? Why? Why do you do that? So because you want best for your child. As a mother, as a father, as a parent, you don't want them getting into any trouble. I don't want to scare children, but sometimes it's a bad world out there. And we don't want to tell them because we don't want to ruin their innocence, but at the same time, we want to make them wary of what's going on in real world, right? So the best thing is, if we can avoid that and be with the people who are like-minded, who are not into any of those wrongdoings, and that's why we come here, because you guys get what? Come on, tell me, Prabhuji, right at the back. Pleasure? Peace? Yeah? Blessings, of course. What else? Sorry, what was that? One at a time, please. Association, I said that's cheating. What else? Caught you, hey? No, thank you, that's important.
Feed our soul.
To feed our soul. Okay, anybody else? All the answers are correct. Wisdom, even more so. Good, what's your name? What? Isha, absolutely right. So peace, wisdom, prosperity. We want feeding our soul. We want association. All of these, can you show me what's that? Does it exist in your bank account? Is it tangible? No. Is God like, so how do we know? You know, people in this world today says to you, we have to do something. Where's God? Because we can't see. If something is tangible like money in your bank account, then they're happy. If you've got a car in your backyard or in your drive, they like it. But all of you have answered something that is not tangible. It's like air. We all know it exists. Yeah, we feel it on our face, in our hair. When it's a hot summer day, scorching degrees of God knows how many, it's say in Greece now, it's horrendous weather. Like it's 45 degrees in India, 47 degrees in India where my parents are, and people who've just recently visited India. And when there is a lovely breeze, right, you can see the leaves are moving. But do you actually see anything? You feel air, right? Similarly, we feel the association of Lord. And let me start in a traditional way. So my name is Vrinda Vilasni, as I've already said. And today we will not be doing something from Bhagavad Gita as it is, but we will be reading from this very nice book, very simple book, just with 11 verses. Bhagavad Gita has nearly 700 verses, yeah? Not nearly, it has 700 verses. This one's only got 11, I think, 9 or 11. So this is 11. So this is a book written by one of our Goswamis, Rupa Goswami. And it's called Nectar of Instruction. Updekshamrita. Nectar means what? Something we never know. We've never had nectar. But have you had Alfonso mangoes? Would you say it's nectarian when you have the amras or lovely Shrikand mixed with lots of mangoes, right? Nectarian. We don't really know. We've heard the description. So today we will be reading from this book. Why? Because this book is going to tell us 6 things, and I'm going to test you all on that. 6 things that that would destroy our bhakti. So, you know, why am I talking negative? Eh? Why aren't I talking about something that we have to do? To do And we always have do's and don'ts, right? Yes? So the reason why I'm going to tell you about don'ts is that if you concentrate on don'ts, yes, you would automatically not do the wrong thing. Do you agree? Do you tell your children to go to school? Or if it's a school day, can you sleep by 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock or 7:30? So you can be waking up fresh in the morning and be ready to go to school, yes? And children say, no, mommy, it's Sunday, it's weekend. We can stay a bit more, longer, right? So we need to learn about lots of things, but we just going to not learn about anything else at the moment, but just 6 items that I'm going to talk to you about, and you tell me if you think you agree. It's written by one of our acharyas, so he can't be wrong. And like I said to you, bhakti is not tangible, yet you all feel the effect. You've given me those answers. I didn't pay you to say those. Did I plant anyone here and say, oh, I'll give you £100 if you say that? Yeah? Hands up if I have. I haven't paid here anyone. Everyone knows, right? So literally, this is not like a class, but we're just going to have like an interactive session about some important stuff that we need to incorporate in our life if you want to advance spiritually, right? So we'll start off with Nectar of Instruction, text 2, which is there. It was there earlier on, and there it is. So we go down to there. So there is Sanskrit and there is English. So let's just try and pronounce. Atya ahara prayasacha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha lolya. No, sorry. Janasangascha lolyamacha shadbhir bhaktir vinashyati. So let's just do one line at a time. First I'll say, you guys try and say as well, okay? Atya ahara prayasacha prajalpo niyamagraha jana sangascha lolyamacha Shadbir bhakti vinashyati. Shadbir bhakti vinashyati. So let's go on to translation. Some of the words you may have already heard if you are from Indian background or know a little bit of Hindi or Sanskrit. So atya ahara. So that means overeating or too much collecting. Who overeats here? Look, even Chiggy is laughing because he knows it's true. I'm always eating lots more. We all do, right? And then it's not just overeating, it's also collecting too much. So we'll come to that why. Then priyasa, over-endeavoring. Why should that be a bad thing? We say all the time, isn't it? Like, just push it until you reach your goals and so on. Yes? So, thought there. And then we'll be talking about prajalpa. We all do that. I'm also guilty of that. That means idle talking. Yeah? What did she get up to that day? Somebody I don't like. Oh, you know what happened? You know, this is what she did. How we waste our time, right? Niyam. Niyam is good. It says rules and regulations. But why are we saying niyam here? When it becomes a fanatic, when it's like you don't actually understand the purpose of that rule, then that rule is not ideal to have, right? So we need to beware of that. Then there is something called Jana Sangha, association with worldly minded person. I don't need to give you an example of that. You already said to your children, don't go here or don't associate with bad company. Yes? So people who are too worldly minded, what do you think they're going to teach you? If you are in a company of, you want your child to become a doctor or something, you would say to them, sit with someone who is also taking on that course. 2 people studying for the same goal, right? You can discuss your thoughts. You can match up your, answers, questions, clarify your notions, right? So that's important. And then it says lolium, ardent longing or greed. Yes. And then shadbhi, which means by these 6, I mentioned to you this number 6. Bhakti, devotional service, and then vinashyati means is destroyed. So this book is like a nectar. If you can buy, it only cost you £2, I think, from there. Or you can have it online. So it's not a problem. But Google it and you'll see Nectar of Devotion by His Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And let's just do our prayers before we do any reading for Bhagavad Gita or any of the books, holy books. We just say this prayer, very simple, 3 things. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, so translation. Who's got a loud voice? Have you, Prabhuji? You're a young man. Have you had your breakfast today and lunch? Good. Do you want to read us that line? Loudly, so everybody can hear it. Nah, that sounds as if you haven't been fed. Come on, louder. Okay. You can't be doing the first one. What is it? Does it say? Eating? Thank you very much. Big round of applause, please. So who's going to have a loud voice like me? My children tell me, Mom, keep it down, right? So Nick, you want to read the second bit?
Over-endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain.
Thank you. And third, what about, who wants to read next? Would you like to? But
Talking unnecessarily about mundane subject matters.
yes, talking unnecessarily about mundane subject matters. Number 4, you in check shirt, please. Yeah, but it has to be loud so we can all hear. I'm a little deaf, you see, so I need to.
Practicing the scriptural rules and regulations only for the sake of following them, and not for the sake of spiritual advancement, or rejecting the rules and regulations of the scriptures.
Yeah. Okay, so I will repeat that because it's very important. Often people say, oh, people seem to have agenda against religion. And they say, oh, it's not. I find this in myself. As soon as you talk to someone about religion, they don't want to know. It's not cool to be religious anymore. But I beg to differ. I'm sorry. It is cool to be religious because what is religion telling us? Everybody's got some set of rules that they want you to follow. And what is religion telling you? Don't lie. Don't steal. What's wrong with that? Government's also telling you that, right? So what is wrong with being religious? So every religion is telling you a set of rules to follow so that you can actually live in a nice society without causing any harm to that society. Nothing wrong with it, provided you don't fall prey to this number 4, which says, practicing the scriptural rules and regulations, but for what? Only for sake of following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement, or rejecting the rules and regulations of the scriptures and working independently or whimsically. So provided we don't do that, then we're all right. And then number 5 is associating with worldly minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. And then number 6, being greedy for mundane achievements. So we all want to achieve something in our life, but most important thing is to actually achieve something which may not be tangible, may not show as a reflection is the number of houses you've got, number of Rolls Royce or Ferraris you've got in your drive, however much bank account you've got, bank balance you've got in your account. Because guess what? You can carry on endeavoring for things like that, which is great to have, don't get me wrong. We all like luxuries in our life. But at the same time, if I was to ask you, what's your name? Hina. Where are you from, Hina? Gujarat, India, all the way from there? Oh, you live here. Okay. So if I was to say to you, can you give me the 5 minutes that have just gone past? Could you give me that time? If I say to you, I'll give you £1 million, that I may not have, but if I was to give you £1 million, can you give me that 5 minutes that we've just lost? Right? Okay. Good. Good to know that you haven't lost that 5 minutes, because when we are actually talking about Krishna Katha, when we're talking about Lord, when we're talking about the purpose of our life, then that day and night, which is the same day and night, we're rising, we're sleeping, rising again. But when we are actually engrossed in Krishna Katha, when we are into talking about the real things that matter in life, then nothing is lost. That 5 minutes is banked. You may not be able to see it, but it's banked in your spiritual account, right? So now we're talking about these 5 things. So just to give you a very brief background, we've got another half an hour as yet. So in this book, it tells you, Nectar of Instruction, first verse is in which they tell us about who can be a guru or who is qualified to make disciples. So it tells you as Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jiva Vekam, Udarpas Vegam, Etan Vegan Sovishayat Dhira, Sarvam Apiman Prithvim Sa Shishyat. So it means a sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, the urges of tongue, belly, and genitals is qualified to make disciples all over the world. So if you're someone who can actually control your senses, yes, we know in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says to Arjun that it is difficult to even control like horses, but the senses are even more difficult to control than just horses and all the other things that we may think. So that is the background. So first of all, they're telling you who can be qualified to make, in this world, someone who can make their disciples. And in the second verse, we are reading that one's devotional service can be destroyed if you are not careful about these 6 things. So let's talk about eating more than necessary. So what happens when we overeat? Tired? Sorry, what was that? You can get pain in your tummy? No, I mean generic. I'm not taking any names. If there's anything, I'll reflect it upon myself. I do get, and I think to myself, oh, we never regret eating less, but we always regret eating more. Yet we all do it. We know it, but we are like, that atonement, and they say about prayashchit. They give you an example of elephant. We're doing a Bhaktivedanta course in their chapter, in the Canto 6. They give us an example of atoning and going to, say, for example, somebody who commits crime or is into sinful activities goes in front of Lord Krishna and says, Krishna, I want to confess about my sins. And Krishna says, okay, my child, whatever, forgive, move on. As soon as Sunday comes, that memory is wiped. The muscle memory of having committed that sin is gone. And what are they doing? Sinning again come Monday to Friday, right? So that kind of atonement is absolutely no good. And they give us an example of an elephant. How elephant goes deep into the river, bathes, and then as soon as he comes out on a land, what does he do? Anybody seen elephant, what they do? Have you been to zoos? Yeah, what does elephant do? With his trunk, it catches lots of soil and stuff, dust, and then he just sprays it all over himself, right? We don't want to take bath like that. And we don't want to do activities like that. So we know we regret eating too much or collecting more funds than required, because we've only got one life, irrespective of what you have in your life. If you don't make time for the purpose of life, then my friend, all that collection is only going to go to either charities, your children who can just blow it doing things that you probably don't even like, or your relations that you can't stand, you know. So just be careful in terms of prioritize as to what you need to do in your life, what is important. So here it tells me in one of the purports, real purpose of life is to inquire about the absolute truth. If our endeavor or priyasa, which is one of the other second things, is not to inquire about the absolute truth or Krishna or the God of your choice, we will simply increase our endeavor to what? Satisfy our artificial needs. Who likes Gucci handbags here? Right? And when Gucci has finished making that many brands, you'll think, oh, it's like perfumes, isn't it? Something that you think I'm on top of the world, I've got the latest perfume, right? Something else comes in. It's just people are doing thieving, isn't it? And you don't realize it because they just take your money by getting you to buy things that you don't even need. How many of us are hoarders here? I don't know how many saris I've got, I confess. And he tells me, my husband, the other half, poor thing, he has to always pay for the saris. And I say to him, he says, what are you going to do with those? And now I'm thinking, exactly. But at least I make sure I give my saris to my sisters or where they can use, and I get the new ones. But how many times can we actually spend our money in getting mundane things? And how are we going to ever keep up with it? Look at the latest phones, right? So if we put all our endeavors in increasing and satisfying our artificial needs, we're not going to get anywhere. Yes, you may have lots of money spent and left, and yes, you may feel like, yeah, I've got the latest thing, but then what? The same time and same money could you have used on a better cause? Think about it. And I'm not saying please don't say to your husbands, for my birthday, I want a Gucci bag. Please go for it. Or any other brand that you may prefer. But all I'm making you aware of is that limit. Yeah? It doesn't say do not. It says overeating or unnecessary. So if you need something, go for it. If you've already got 10 Ferraris, why do you need 100 more? Would you call that over the top? Yeah? So similar sort of thing with eating. We all know why we shouldn't, but we do. So we need to control our senses. And they say to control our tongue, and if we don't want to eat more than necessary, then we should do something called eat Krishna Prasad. Now, Krishna Prasad is going to be healthier, and more importantly, it's sanctified. So, do you know why Hare Krishnas always say eat prasad rather than normal? Because we believe that the sins, even if it's a vegetarian meal, like our religion it tells us not to even harm a spider. Every time there's a spider in the house, I'm so tempted to hoover it. My husband would come and he wants to bring a cup, and then they go through arduous task of putting spider in a little cup, then takes it out, releases it. Let alone killing for our sense enjoyment, right? Hare Krishnas. Right thing to do, right? Just because I want to have some enjoyment on my tongue, why should I treat somebody else who's also got soul? Prabhuji here mentioned that we want food for soul. We all have soul. We know that. It's already been proven. When somebody dies, the person's here and we still say the person's left this body. What is that little thing? Soul. Because why? We are part and parcels of Krishna. We are, a part of that eternal absolute. So that is the reason why we don't overeat. And then that is the reason why we don't over-endeavor to get mundane things. Then the third one is called prajalpa. Prajalpa means, I gave you a hint earlier on who was listening. Tell me something. What does prajalpa means? And it says there as well. So in the category of prajalpa or unnecessary talk, shall we say backbiting, gossiping, what else? things that we talk to hurt someone. Like, sometimes they say with weapons you can't hurt, but you can hurt somebody with your tongue, right? So why not, our life should not be all about what is he getting up to, what is she getting up to, she was giving me attitude, he was giving me attitude. Why are we wasting our precious minutes that we've got in this one life? As you know, irrespective of what you have, things can be changed just like that. Today somebody is queen, tomorrow they're not. Right? Today you're a prime minister, tomorrow you're not. What happens? All those people who were listening to you were your best friends and so on. What happens? The whole scenery changes in 1 minute just like that. Yeah? And I hope people who have still got, substantiated their life with not just thinking, oh, I need some friends who can just always fan my ego, they'll be all right, isn't it? It doesn't matter what position they've got, how much money they've got. They'll still be happy, right? So this is what we need to start thinking for ourselves. Okay, I am 50 plus. I have gone through more than half of my life. My boys are grown up. I've got a lovely grandson. He's going to be growing up. But then what? What about me and Rajesh Krishna? We need to start thinking now what is important in our life. We've done there's two things, isn't it? Who's going to tell me about Swadharma and Sanatan Dharma? Mukundhari Prabhu gave a class, I think last Sunday, and he mentioned that your life needs to be balanced, and it's like train. As much as we need to do as a mother, as a grandmother, I have certain jobs to do. I also work full-time outside like you. I'm not born with a golden spoon in my mouth, but guess what? I'm proud and I'm happy and I'm content and satisfied with whatever Krishna has thrown my way. And it's a touch wood. With Krishna's mercy, it's very good going. Because Krishna engages us in his service, that's foremost. Do you feel good when you've made some aloo paranthas for your children? Or saag, or shak, what do you say in Gujarati? Shak, right? Dhokra, yes? When kids come, sit down, they have the dinner, you get the contentment. As a mother, you have gone in and spent your hours doing work in kitchen, and yet you get contentment. Why? Service, right? Whether you serve your child, whether you take on to, my husband always tells me about, talk about isms. So in nationalism, people take duties to form a part of group, to feel that they're part of something, to then die duty to their nation. Some people are going to go and find another kind of ism so that they can try and be doing something in which they feel good. But the rasa itself of serving, if somebody said to me, Vrinda, can you be my servant? I'll be like, on your bike, why the hell should I want to do that, right? But reality is, when you actually serve others, you get good feeling. Do you see why people do charities? Do you see why that Pujari Prabhuji, they're serving Krishna? Right? Because they get certain rasa, certain nectarian taste, which we all, I challenge you all, if you don't believe me, you take up Hare Krishna beads from reception there and try and chant in the morning when you get up for 5 or 10 minutes. One round shouldn't take you more than 5 to 8 minutes. And what does a round mean? All it says is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So what are we doing there? As soon as we get up, we're remembering Krishna's name. Why? Because we want association. And slowly, slowly you will see that that association makes such a difference. You have a peaceful mind. You lose a lot of stuff, but none of them are good stuff. So you lose anger. You would lose, anxieties. You lose a lot of stuff that you don't really need in your life, and you won't even realize it. So all of these things. So moving on to the next bit, which is associating. I need to go into this practicing of spiritual thing. So we all know Hare Krishna mantra because Krishna has got potency in his name. Do we all agree? Yes? So if something is if we have some bottle of something, that particular content of the bottle matters. Bottle doesn't, right? Do we all agree? Here in mantra, when we say Krishna, 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 that is the most important thing. Whether it's been said by a child, do you think Krishna listens? Do you think Lord Jesus listens? Do you think Muhammad listens? Right? Irrespective of what religion and caste and all of these things we are, Srila Prabhupada always said that I want to make better devotees, whether irrespective of what your religion is, that you get better at, better understand what your religion and what you think, and you become better at doing that. So if you are a Hare Krishna and a devotee, then you need to understand why you're doing these things. One of the guys sent me something. Now you tell me, you guys all are looking like a nice, sensible lot. Somebody sent me a clip from Facebook which says, if a woman sits on a Vyasasana, then the Krishna name or the katha they're doing is does not have its effect. Now, do you think Krishna's name is dependent on whether a woman takes it or a man takes it or a child takes it? What has got the potency? The potency is actually in Krishna's name, right? So what does it matter? Who does it? How he does it? Because we know Krishna's name is so potent that should you start associating with that name, that Hare Krishna mantra, these devotees, these books, these festivals, you would automatically will feel difference in your own life. And this is not something we can artificially say. I think 1996, 1994, 1996, I came into it, and I never imagined I would be knowing any of these things, because I didn't have a clue. Everything was in Sanskrit. My parents used to believe in Pandits. I took it upon myself to do something called, if you can Google it, School of Bhakti. They do all these courses. We get help from, like teachers teach you some difficult concept. Similarly, that these sannyasis, these devotees who have done special studies, have spent 20 years studying this book and given us the churned essence, they would know more about this than somebody like me who's working 9 till 6 every single day, got 2 days off, and then doing all those other things for more than half of my life. Physics, if you want to be a physicist, you will go and find physics teacher. So what is so difficult about people not knowing that we can actually tap on School of Bhakti and start with the basic course they've got, where they start you teaching about Krishna consciousness. And what is Gita saying? A lot of people have lots of misconceptions. But if you want to know exactly what's there, well, take up the challenge. Make time. 2 hours online on Sunday, not a bad exchange for something that would help you forever in your life. Because we know this life is filled with suffering. It's got jara, is old age. Vyadi is disease. Yeah? What are the other two, Rajesh? Janam, birth, and then mrityu. Everyone who's taken birth is bound to die. And we don't want to keep this cycle of birth, death, disease, and all that. So what do we need to do? If we need to get out of this entanglement, then we need to make sure that we are actually doing something for us. We are taking steps to learn. If we don't want to do a course, we can just do chanting. If we don't want to do chanting, we can find service. And that's the most important, So anyway, we've gone on from first thing, atya ahara, which means overeating. Then we've gone on with the prayasa, which means over-endeavoring. We've gone on with prajalpa, which is useless talk, which gives us nothing. And we don't need to waste our precious minutes in this world, this life, talking about others. And talk about Krishna instead and gain something tangible in your spiritual account. And then niyama graha. And I gave you this example of this person. He's very learned. He's very renowned. He knows all these practices. And then it makes you think, okay, if he's sending me this, how much of bhakti, how much of application of Krishna consciousness is going on there? Because someone who's saying that Krishna name is dependent on who takes it, and furthermore, also, whether you are sat on a Vyasasana or whether you are sat here, then it would make a difference. Would you believe that? If somebody said, thankfully, this particular post I'm talking about wasn't from a Krishna conscious person who was saying it, right? So we've talked about these 4 things, niyamagraha. Then we've talked about jana sangha, that you do need association, but you need the right association. And lolyam means being greedy. So we don't want to be spending our time doing all sorts of yoga asanas, doing siddhis, so we can have some sort of magic powers or whatever else you want to call. We don't even want liberation. They say that Krishna devotees say no to liberation. Because we know if we take the devotional service of Lord Krishna, the liberation is going to be the side product. Why do I want side product? I want to go for the main thing, right? I don't want to be fooled by, oh yeah, do you want 500 pounds and you keeping £1 million worth of stuff for yourself? Something which is so, how do you say it? Something that you can't put price on. What's the word, Nick? Priceless. Simple. So something which is so priceless, if somebody is trying to dodge you and saying, oh, go for this, would you go for that? And lose the sight of something which is most important? Would you? No. So similarly, we need to make sure that we need to be greedy, but we need to be greedy for the right sort of thing. Yes, we can have as much prasad as we want. We can be greedy for prasad because prasad works it's a scientific thing. When you are offering something to Krishna and then you eating it, it's purifying your consciousness. It's purifying your consciousness even more when you are talking about Hare Krishna mantra. Come on, tell me. How does it go? Hare Krishna. So you've done it one time. It's all banked in your spiritual account already, right? Was it difficult? It wasn't difficult. So can I ask you guys to try at least 5 or 10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. That's not difficult. You have 24 hours. As soon as you wake up after you've done your mandatory things, in the morning, can you please sit down in one place? Or if you prefer to walk, you can. But you'll have to remember that mantra. And if you want, you can even take beads because that helps us focus. So those are the things that we want to do for ourselves. Because if we actually don't engage in those 6 things, then we cannot be responsible for destroying our, bhakti, devotional service? Do we want to destroy? No, because God give you insight. So say, for example, there was an example of someone finding £100 here. So if somebody was they call kami someone who's not a devotee or not a bhakta, they would probably just keep it to themselves. That's one option, right? We're talking about options here in your life. If you are a learned person and very knowledgeable, then you will think, okay, £100, what can it buy me? I'd rather not take a chance, get caught, or get entangled with money, so I'm not going to bother having it. Renounce means you're detached, you give it up. But that's artificial. And if it's a Krishna conscious person, you give them £100 or they found £100, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to try and use it in Krishna consciousness. So all of you guys who earn, your hard-earned monies, you come and give it. What do Krishna conscious people do? The management here, the sannyasis here, they're all engaged in using that money in the right way. It is not telling you how you can temporarily make arrangements in your house, how you can come out of this, say, God forbid, if you have addiction or anything else. They are telling you the most important thing that everybody should really cherish, because it may be intangible, but it is there. We all feel it. We all come here every Sunday to listen to this, to feel the association of Lord Krishna. Yes? So, similarly, we don't have to think about problems. Like, problems are enough, like factories, no times. We just need to be actually living our life as a human being is meant to be, for a simple living and very high thinking. And that can get spoiled when we entangle and misuse our intelligence and then engage in unfavorable activities for the God realization. So if you're serious, guys, then life is very simple for simple. It's very complicated for very complicated. And you're right. Once we certain things we know we shouldn't do. A diabetic patient would know they shouldn't have chocolate. They shouldn't have laddus. They shouldn't have gulab jamuns because it's got sugar. It can kill them. But we all do it. If people have told me, my doctors told me I've got cholesterol, what do I want to do? Ideally, I shouldn't be having any fatty foods. But guess what? When I see hot chips and weather like yesterday, it was pelting down with rain, guess what did I fancy having? Chip butty type of thing. Or we call something called salad naan. We put pita bread and you warm it up and you put lots of salad to make you feel better, but we also put chips in it. We're counteracting bad with good. Not good, but I've done it. So all I'm saying is that there be propensities that we have in ourselves that we don't want to, we know we shouldn't do, but we still do. But who can be our strength? You know, like there is a song in Krishna, Ekaki na paya, like when I'm all alone, I don't get that strength, bal. But when you actually become part of Sankirtan, when you got a force behind you of that of Krishna, that of all the devotees who are going to be representative of Krishna in helping you, then all of a sudden you become strong. You become strengthened. Yeah? So let's try and do what actually is good for our life for a change. Let's try and make sure that we if we are too much into overeating, then maybe we should take some fasting. Now, in today's world, science has proved 5-2 dieting, right? And then all these people who say 24-hour diet, 36-hour diets, if you don't eat something, then it kills the disease inside. Not that I don't say to you guys, please do that. You can do an easier way. If you have Krishna Prasad on a regulated time, regulation you're following of 16 rounds that Krishna devotees do, they spend the hour for meditation. And they're not artificially trying to be quiet, because if you are later on or the other, your mind is so active, it would automatically think of 10,001 things when you're chanting. So you have to physically think and bring your mind back and engage it in the service of Krishna. And slowly, slowly, you will see the side that you feed, it's going to get strengthened. I have good in me, I have bad in me. If I'm going to feed bad, what do you think is going to happen? It'll be 2 minutes. Somebody can, brainwash me. I can do bad things only to regret later. Do we want to be one of those? Or do we want to be like sober people who can actually think, who have ability to discriminate good from bad, and then feed yourself good? Then what happens? You automatically want to be good. You would be good to others. It wouldn't matter to you what neighbor has got the latest thing, because you are content in your life. And I kid you not, Krishna would somehow or the other find you and help you with all the questions. And this has happened to me, and hence the reason I'm saying it from my experience. You can take Bhagavad Gita. Is there any question that's really bothering you? Just close your eyes, open any page of the book. With very merciful Srila Prabhupada, he has actually translated Sanskrit into Hindi, any language you can think of, and English. So now, we don't have to listen to what old tales we were told by our parents. No disrespect to anyone. But at the same time, whatever they have said, we can verify by reading it ourselves. Right? So let's just try and do that. And then we have something called ABC, isn't it, of in Hare Krishna. So Rajesh, you want to tell us what is ABCD? Association for A? Yeah. And C for? Chanting. Yes. So if we're going to try and do something like that for ourselves, then we would be feeding the good side of us. Yeah. In the end, there is a verse in Bhagavad Gita. There is an actual thing that, austerities are deliberate, voluntarily doing something. You don't go into kitchen in hot weather just to please yourself, but you do it because you want to serve your children. Similarly, if we want to serve Krishna and we voluntarily put ourselves into, say now, today you have all gathered here for, Aarti and association of Krishna. So please take up that practice. And it says, it goes as like this: tapasa brahmacharyena samena cha damena che tyagena satya socyabhyam, and then yamena niyamena che. So basically, with a regulated life, by voluntarily doing tapasya means you've chosen not to go cinema today and you're here. So thank you all for your precious time. Please remember those 6 things which can bring your or destroy your bhakti. And if you've got any questions, I'll be outside. Please feel free to come and talk. And we'll be now doing Aarti at 7. So we would need everyone to please come here. And please don't forget, there'll be prasadam afterwards. You must have that. And thank you so much for your time. And let's just say, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And I wouldn't mind little help in putting these 2 equipment at the back, please. Thank you so much.
Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radhe Radha Gokulananda. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. श्री राधा गोकुलानंद की, श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की, Sisi Gaur Nitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So as the Aarti ceremony is being performed, we'll be singing this song, the Gora Aarti song. That's on the screen. So I will sing one line, and then if you can sing the same line in response, and then we'll go on to chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Aroti Kasoba. Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Aroti Kasoba. Janavi Tatavani Jagamanalo Ba Avitata Jagamana Janavi Tata